checking out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint, calling plays like a coach.
Hey, good morning. How are you? It's Thursday here on the program. Hope everybody's doing okay. Welcome, BDST on YouTube. Hit us up. Anything on your mind on the McClellan Chiropractic chat, Professional Door Incorporated text line. We'd love to hear from you. Andy Bitter joins us coming up. 7 o'clock. Tim Miller from Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Around 7:30. And then Dwight Vick. So we got a lot going on. A lot going on. And we're glad to have you part of it, as always. Hit us up. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. We get more and more subscribers every day, but we're trying to grab that 1,000. A lot going on, man. This whole Michigan thing that broke last night, we'll get into. Sharon Moore. You can't make it up, man. You just can't make it up. Crazy. Just absolutely crazy. We'll get into the story if you haven't heard it and break it down in Michigan. How corrupt is that place, right? They covered up Harbaugh's cheating. Let's just say it the way it is. They cheated for their national title, and now this thing is just – I just read this. I'm reading more and more today, and I'm just blown away. The magnitude of illicit behavior and corruption is just – it's mind-blowing. Good morning, Prometheus. How you doing, brother? Steven, how are you? No, it's not a good snow morning. It's never a good snow morning. What's up, TLB? Top of the morning to you. Oh, that was horrible. Top of the morning. No, it's too early to try to do an Irish accent. What's up, Thunderman? Looks like the sports world of the day is moral turpitude. Yes. From Tebow's sea legs to Watson's rope-a-dope boxing legs, and now in Palm Coast, Morris is sitting smooth atop Yingling King. BDST is live and online. I did want to be Muhammad Ali. I did. Yeah, he's my hero. Good morning, Hokey Rocks. How you doing, brother? Big Al, what's up? Big Al in the house. Good morning, Opal. You little Opal tickle, you. Sorry. You did it first, Opal. You brought in the I tell you, when you think you've seen everything and heard everything, this Michigan thing, peeps, it's not just my opening song needs one of those shoe squeak loops. ESPN Live. I'm sure I could find those. We've got ACC news too, by the way. Sharon Moore's been fired at Michigan. He's been arrested. He's in jail as we speak right now, the Michigan head coach. He apparently, a very young staff member, he got pregnant. He's married, I think, with 2 or 3 kids. He paid for her abortion. She then threatened him and extorted him. And she, Opal, I'm sure you are. And then he gave her a raise, sent her money out of his account. It's just, and then when he realized that things were going down at Michigan because there was a coaches meeting called by the administration and he wasn't invited, he allegedly, I'm just going to say allegedly, but the reports are saying that he went to her house, broke in with a knife and threatened to kill her, and then he was going to kill himself. What is going on? I mean, it's unbelievable. And now we find out Michigan knew about it back in November, covered it up or ignored it. It's pointless to wait. They waited until after signing day. So these kids sign, but they'll be released from their letters of intent on January 2nd. They'll go back into the portal. And I got to give prop. Is it 4 kids? Okay, thanks, Hokey Rocks. Oh, she's married too? Wow. Holy matrimony. Holy matrimony, Batman. Todd Grantham, I'm going to give him his flowers. He mentioned this a couple months ago. It may have been one of his appearances on the show. He said, I think the Michigan job's going to open up. He did not get into it, but people around coaching knew that's how long this has been going on. And then I called him Nostradamus Grantham last night. He knew. And I don't know what Michigan's going to do for a head coach. That place is an absolute mess. I can't even imagine anybody who'd want to walk into that right now. Don't tell me, hey, it's Michigan. Well, it reminds me, and it's not nearly to the level, all right? It just reminds me we have another Big Ten school like Penn State did with Sandusky, and I know it's completely different, and the Sandusky thing is the most heinous and despicable stuff we've ever heard. But this feels the same kind of heaviness of what it's going to mean about Michigan. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. The athletic director's got to lose his job. Administrators, the president, they all ignored this. They all ignored it, covered it up, just like they did with Harbaugh during the sign stealing scandal during their championship. What a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Correct. Sounds like Sherrod was using the Bobby Petrino playbook. It just blew me away. This happened. I got this late last night. And it was Todd who sent me the first tweet. And I was like, wow, you were right. What's going on? And then he goes, go back and read this. And I did. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. But he's in jail. Sharon Moore has been placed in jail. More will come out today. More will come out. And we'll find out probably more horrible details of all this. And everybody who's saying, oh, these coaches that took jobs. No, they took their jobs because – and I got a ton of text on the professional door text line. Boy, I bet James Franklin wishes he would have waited. No, James Franklin would have never been hired by Michigan. He's fine in Blacksburg. Same thing with everybody saying, Matt Campbell should have waited. No, why? Why? They chose who they're going. Don't make it look like all of a sudden they're not. What's up, Hokey Bob? Glad you're still around. I wasn't sure Hokey Bob was still with us. Not like alive, but with the new format. Need to hear from you more, Hokey Bob. It was great to talk to you when you got your shirt. Morris says the mind-boggling part is how hard these guys work to get where they are. Well, I think with Moore, he was just in the right place at the right time, and he fit what Michigan wanted in a coach for whatever reasons, you know. Following up Harbaugh, I guess they tried to put a nice guy in there, but apparently, you know, he was part of all that. And now this, so clearly he's not. We'll talk to Andy Bitter about all this. It's madness, man. I tell you what. It's madness. You want out, buddy? I got Creed. Creed's injured, so I'm a little upset. So we're going to get into that here soon. So let me see if he wants out now. I'll be right back. You heard him probably in the background. But he's got like a little muscle pull. And last time it abscessed, and I had to get the pocket knife and hang on. Let me. Come on, buddy. Not unlike when I grew up on a farm, you know, sometimes the cattle would have a little abscess and we'd have to kind of lance it and do all that. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So I'm a little worried about him, but it would be the second time I've had to do it. It's around the shoulder, the front leg, you know, when they jump and they run. And sometimes they, you know, will pull a little ligament damage in there. So anyway, this Michigan thing is just, it blows me away. All these Michigan people in the media that grads from Michigan were trying to defend them during the cheating of the Harbaugh championship. It's crazy, crazy. Hey, you're welcome for me. Hey, that makes me happy, man. That's what we're about. We're a family here. We're a community, a BDST community. Hey, Rick, thanks for linking Morris and me up. Morris ended up running around with my dad and uncle back in the day. That's awesome. Prometheus is a terrific builder and contractor, and Morris needed a little help here. So that's great. Awesome, Prometheus. That's great. You know anybody who does roofs, let me know, Prometheus. I need a roof job in the spring. I need a new roof. About time. So let me know. Thank you, Opal. Appreciate it. He's trying to fight through it, as TLB said. He's frustrated because he knows he's hurt, right? And now he wanted to go. I'll have to go get him here in a second, so just enjoy that. It's sad, you know, it's your animal, and you hope that's all it is. It feels like that's what it is, and you have to wait. Like, I don't want to get too graphic here, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It'll harden up. It'll get to that. You can feel the pus, and when that happens, you have to go in there and peel back the hair, and I did it. It was about a year and a half ago. It happened 2 years ago. And it's a bad scene. You know, you'll have to put on gloves and you'll have to wear long sleeves because he's going to get fired up. Thank you, Prometheus. I appreciate that. Whoever you trust, that's good enough for me, brother. But, yeah, I'm going to need a roof in the spring. I'm going to get with my homeowners and get all that taken care of. So, yeah. So you'll have to go in and you'll have to. One of my most prized possessions is my dad's pocket knife, and he always kept it very sharp, and I'll sterilize it. You don't need to take him to the vet. I know what it is. It's the same thing that used to happen with cattle, you know, when we were growing up. But you hate doing it. It devastates you. You hate to see them because your dog, your cat, your pet, right, they're your family. Prometheus, you know, had his situation that I hate, had to say goodbye, and you see that, you just, you know, and they try to tell you, you know. But anyway, I'll keep you posted on all that. I would say that this weekend I'll have to do the deed and get him all drained. But anyway, what is really going to be bad too, and I've seen a lot of people post this is it's horrible enough, right? This is a terrible situation. And it's not something that you should kid about, and I'm not. But I'm just, the other side of this is if Michigan lied to recruits and kept this from recruits, and all of a sudden they've opened themselves up to many bigger problems with lawsuits. Thank you, Opal. Yeah, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. And here he is, he's a little limited, but he's going back out there, right? Not unlike a football player late in the season when your body's beat all to hell. Hey, man, it's December. We got to go. We got to go. That's what he's doing right now. But I got a feeling we're going to find out they lied to those kids, and those kids could do a lot of damage, a lot further damage. Whew. But hey, there's going to be some talented players in the portal in less than a month. Michigan usually recruits pretty well. I just don't know who. All these people said, "Oh, Kalen DeBoer." No, Kalen DeBoer. You really think Kalen DeBoer would jump into that he would leave the Alabama Mafia to go to that mess? I don't know who would take that job. You know who would take that job? Brian Kelly would take that job. That's who would take that job. Somebody like that. Without any morals whatsoever. But keep an eye on that today. It is one of the most bizarre things we've heard of. It's and so many people are posting about it on X. You can follow it. And the details are shocking. If all this is accurate, when they found him and arrested him, that he went to her house, broke into the house, and held her at knife point. And if I read right, tied her up and was going to just cut her up. This is the football coach at Michigan? Again, these are alleged things that are coming out. I'm not saying this. I'm just telling you, though, this just giving you some of the details. Everything you read, it gets worse and worse. Yeah, what is it about the Big Ten? What happened at Penn State, Michigan, Michigan State, Minnesota, and, of course, you can't forget about Northwestern with Fitzgerald, who's going back to that league. And the hazing. I don't know, man. Andy Bitter's a Big Ten guy. He's a Wisconsin grad, so we'll talk to him about all that. Well, you know what this goes? Yeah, Opal, you're right. And what this goes, all these people have millions of dollars. Everybody, and I know I'd rather have millions of dollars and not have to worry about month-to-month things either. But it just shows you money does not buy you anything in terms of stability in your mind and in your life and happiness. I read all the time about multimillionaires are the ones who get hooked up on drugs or they commit suicide. And this guy had more money, knows what to do. He's the head football coach at Michigan. And you're doing this. And then they apparently found there's so much stuff coming out about his personal life and all the young girls that he had been out with, seeing behind his wife's back that he found on Tinder. Is that what it's called? Tinder? So when you think the school that you pull for and root for has problems, well, Michigan will always say, hold my multiple beers. We got something for you. Or somebody in the Big Ten. Whew. Unbelievable. And Grantham was all over it. Todd Grantham was all over it. So he won't see another dollar on his contract being fired without cause. He's going to lose. He's going to be in jail now, right? He did what he did with the woman at her house, allegedly. He's going to get divorced. Going to lose more there. Think about what all he's going to lose. He'll never coach again. He's got no reputation, no career. So he's fired with cause, so everything's voided. All their recruits will have everything voided so they can go back into the portal. The Mays not. I see you, Hokie Rocks. It's undefeated. Yeah, you're right, David. The quote that he saw yesterday. Man. So no money going to go to Sharon. He's done. Michigan's not worried about that now. I don't know what they're going to do. They got a lot more problems, though, than trying to figure out who the next football coach is going to be. The people who are making those decisions, I don't know if they're going to have jobs. How can you, if you knew about all this and you ignored it until after the Ohio State game? All right, let me go get him again. All right, looks like he's back. Let me see. Hang on. You all understand, so thank you. Hang on. Come on, buddy. Appreciate that for him, 20-some degrees. He had to go take care of his morning business, because he's not a litter box. So my boy took care of himself. Now he's in here like, all right. Yeah, had to play Ohio State first, right? God forbid they take care of something, that could have led to murder, right? Think about that for a second. This could have led to her murder, and they ignored this. He could have killed her yesterday. All because they had to play Ohio State. Unbelievable, man. Morris got my Sharona quotes going up. I don't know. Just keep an eye on it today. There'll be a lot more coming out today. A lot more about all this. Trying to see if anything's come out this morning. Trying to update anything. I know it's early, but a lot of times there's stuff overnight that I missed. No, it just looks like it's everything going back to last night. But anyway, we'll get into that. And, once he realized he was done, he went to her house. His reaction was to go to her house, allegedly bind her and hold her at knife point, which is why he was arrested. It looks like he left there and went to a church parking lot where they finally cornered him. I don't know how you spin this. Good luck, Michigan and Michigan fan. There's nothing you can say. The only proper response, in my opinion, is for the board of directors to fire everyone in that administration of any kind of substance and power, from the president on down. They allowed the cheating scandal for the championship. They've allowed this, a different type of cheating scandal. They covered it up until recruits signed, until they played Ohio State, lost to Ohio State. Now they're going to lose all those recruits anyway. And you nearly got to the point to where this coach almost murdered the woman he was having the affair with. How do any of those people keep their jobs? It would seem like the only proper response. But we will see. This is a school that went out of their way 100 times over to tell us that Jim Harbaugh is a great guy and they shouldn't have their championship taken away from them, that The things that he did were not unlike any other thing that went on. From the big house to the jailhouse. Well, that's true, TLB. You never know. Maybe the board knew about all this too. That's a great point. I'm assuming that they didn't, but yeah, just knowing that on these boards, these are people that don't do that full time, you know, whether you're at Tech, Radford, Michigan, these are people that have jobs and they meet as the board. But yeah, maybe they did. Now that you say that, you're probably right. There's more drama, Thunder says, in college sports now than there ever was in the hit show Dallas. Man, I love me some Dallas. What a great show. What a great character. Larry Hagman is J.R. Ewing. People right now, younger people are like, what? Dallas was a good show. Good show. It wasn't the dad's name. He passed away during the filming of the show early. Was his name Jock? I think it was Jock Ewing. The Victoria principal. Nothing wrong with that. Who Shot JR still to this day might be the biggest TV drama that was kept secret in the history of the medium. Hey, little extra credit bonus for you. Do you remember who shot JR? Do you remember? I got to be honest, the reveal was a little disappointing. Come on. Let me know who shot JR. Don't look it up. Don't cheat. Do you remember? 100% for me. All these scandals is built by money and the desire for more of it. I wrote about it in the Patriot about a month ago. It was not Sue Ellen. They tried to lead you to believe that because she'd been, cheated on many times, and they always argued, but they were kind of soulmates, to be honest. No, it was not Sue Ellen. Do you remember who shot JR? And no cheating. It was a huge, and you didn't have internet. You didn't have any way social media, so they could keep all that under lock. I saw a documentary. I remember it may have been Victoria Principal. Yes, correct, Orioles fan. It was Kristen, and I believe she was Sue Ellen's sister. One of the mistresses got spurned by JR and shot him in his office. Wasn't Kristen played by one of the Crosbys? Like Bing Crosby's daughter? Anyway. Yeah, just sweep it under the rug. Don't lose your championship. Don't lose out financially. Don't want to lose the recruits. We all knew about it. But hey, let's play Ohio State and let's make sure signing day passes. Then we'll deal with it. There were T-shirts and everything that summer. Yeah, they did. Very well done. Very well done. You couldn't do that today. Everything would leak here, either on YouTube or Twitter or whatever. Did Kristen work at Michigan? I don't know. She may have. You can't say for sure. Maybe. Maybe so. Thanks to the NRV Super Bowl. Give them a call, 540-382-5525. Ask for Amanda or Terry. Sarah Williams is the bowler of the month. She bowled 288, 271. December 12th, they start the NRV Nightlife from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Check out all the renovations they've done. It's really cool. It's really cool. And to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, he made our wonderful T-shirt. So if you want one, hit me up, $20. I'll get them to you here locally. People who have paid, I haven't hooked up with yet. Don't worry, we got them. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving the country. KB may be in here. He might be in here, Knicks fan. Old man LeBron dunked over Luke Cornett last night. Primal scream and all. Backstabbing, inbreeding lust and greed. Go Michigan. Yeah, we're all those Michigan offenders. All those morons in the media like Rich Eisen, who's the sideline reporter for CBS? I like her. What's her name? That's on the main broadcast with Nance and Romo. I don't know, Jim. I can't remember her name, Jim. All I know is that Patrick Mahomes isn't on the field. I don't feel like I can call a game anymore, Jim. What the hell happened to me, Jim? I used to be really good. And now all I do is ball wash Patrick Mahomes. I know, Tony. No, not Holly Rowe. She's done it a long time. She's the main sideline lady reporter, female reporter. And it's on the main CBS broadcast. What's her name? She's a Michigan girl. And she boasts about it. Matter of fact, during all the controversy, she wore a Michigan sweater or something to say, hey, leave us alone. I'll never think of her name. I will never think of her name. So now I'm going to have to look it up because it's going to bother me. She does a nice job. I mean, I've always liked her work. She's really good at what she does. Tracy Wolfson. That's her name. Tracy Wolfson. And telling the media to stop picking on Michigan during the Harbaugh thing. What, you think they're going to say that now? I don't believe it's people that were picking on Michigan. I think Michigan just revealed themselves to the point that they can no longer hide from themselves. Go get your next vehicle at Harvey's GM in Radford. See Brad Harvey. I know some people have been doing that. Thank you. No pressure, and he will work until he finds what you're looking for at your price. That's rare. Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997. They have manufactured home parts, windows, plumbing supplies, plus they install. Give him a call, 540-381-8011. They've been part of the community since 97, 300 North Franklin Street. Thanks to the Montgomery County Chamber. Appreciate them. They are awesome. Awesome. Yeah, she is kind of short, isn't she? TLB, I got to say, Rick, thanks for all the behind-the-scenes work you do to make this entertaining show what it is. You're always prepared. Well, thank you. I try to be. I'm not always prepared. You guys teach me a lot. I guess it doesn't mean I'm not prepared. I learn a lot from the people who watch. It's great. Yeah, I don't know, Hokey Bob. What will happen to all those sponsors? You know, they're going to lose money there too. 100% they're going to lose money. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, they're going to lose a lot. Michigan, and they should. They should lose a lot. They deserve. They brought all this on themselves. There's nobody who tried to stop any of this. I don't have any sympathy for anyone there except for Sharon Moore's wife and his children. And this woman's, I guess she was married, her husband and her family. I hate that for his wife and his children. There's a lot of victims in this, and it's not necessarily the guy who's in jail right now. Just unbelievable. Thank you. Thanks, Knicks fan. Appreciate it. Thanks, Morris. Straight fire. It's straight fire. I don't know, Jim. I used to be straight fire, Jim. Unlistenable, Tony Romo. And Chris Collinsworth. So, C.J. Stroud made this unbelievable play the other night in the Houston Chiefs Sunday night game. And Collinsworth is worse about Mahomes than Romo, which is hard to believe. So they showed Stroud. He escaped the pocket. He juked. May have been Chris Jones. He rolled out and he hit, I think, a running back for the first down. It was a big third down. And you can't make it up. I thought it was parody until I researched it. They immediately cut to Mahomes on the bench. And Collinsworth, there's like this pause. I don't know why there's like this pause. He goes, well, those are the kind of plays that guy makes. He's just waiting for his chance to get out there and create magic or something. And I'm sitting there going, what about C.J. Stroud, who's coming back from injury, who just made this hellacious play? The Chiefs went on to score 10 points on their home field. Houston's got the best defense in the NFL. Anyway. Oh, thank you. Thanks for me. This, if you're traveling back roads, very slick. Yeah, so the big melt yesterday, I could see that. 20-some degrees this morning. It is ego, Hokie Rocks. It is. They feel invincible. Survived the cheating scandal. He's the coach at Michigan. Hey, Derek, good morning. Texans mentioned. Let's go Texans. Yeah, man, they're legitimate Super Bowl contenders with that defense, and now that C.J. Stroud is back. I believe that. Believe that. To quote the critical drinker. Yeah, black ice, man, it is deadly. You do not see it, hence the name, right? It's just kind of there. And boy, oh boy, when you fall on that, you are, or crash, swing your vehicle through it. Hopefully you're not crashing. I want to thank Bob Christ and the Ready Set Fund, ReadySetFund.com. BobChrist11@gmail. They have text messages. They can talk to you about what you need. They will construct it for you, send it out for you, and you'll raise a lot of money for your organization or your sports team like the Floyd County girls softball team did. $4,000 in like 5 days. Travis Williams, the owner and proprietor of Professional Door Incorporated, residential and commercial garage doors in Dublin, sponsor of our text line, family owned and operated 38 years. He's got a full fleet of workers now. The reason they needed workers is because they're so good at what they do. Everybody wants them. Congratulations, Travis, and thank you for your support. National Bank member FDIC, thanks to Lara Ramsey. Exclusive banking partner, BDST. My exclusive banking partner for 35 years. Little River Heating and Air in Christiansburg. Charles Lee, 540-553-2971. If you're having trouble with your heat units, give them a call, man. Let them come service it. Very reasonable rates. If they have to fix it, they'll tell you exactly what it is. They'll give you the options. They won't just, hey, we got to do this now. Here's what we need to do. What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. They'll take care of you. The attorney Ryan Pry. He is located at 701 West Main Street. And he sponsors our BDST fan question of the week. It is now 59 people against the Brent Pry hire as defensive coordinator. 37 for. So we got a 22 negative lead. Later on in this program, Tim Miller is going to join us from Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program. And we're looking forward to that. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio here in Reiner, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrb.com. Thanks to Jason Green. This cold doesn't matter to those guys. Matter of fact, they want to be able to come out and take care of your yard, your fencing in the winter. They're going to work right through it. And that way, when you get out there and you get that spring fever in late February, early March, oh, yeah, look at that. Family Fencing got this done for me. Let's go plant. Let's go do whatever. And Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, sponsor of our chat room. Go see Mark. If you have a back issue, right off of Peppers Ferry Road, look him up, McClellan Chiropractic. Mark Hunley's the best. Yep. So, yeah, a lot going on. None of it good around Michigan today. Billy Napier was officially introduced yesterday. There's my guy, Matt Roan. There you see him there with Coach Napier. 10th head coach at James Madison. Exciting day for them. So reporting that, well, this is Josh Pate who had this first. He said, you'll find out after signing day, which I think was timed purposefully, that Sharon Moore is going to be fired without cause. He had this way before. Let me put it this way. Agents have expected the Michigan job to come open for several weeks now. Because in other words, everybody knew this was going to happen, yet nobody came forward. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. There you go. Yeah, for me, this is a game changer for your dogs. You can stay inside while they go out. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Rodney, good morning, man. That's why, now, obviously, I really kind of need the sponsorship support here to take care of some bills associated with the new show. But everybody that we have, everybody that's really, really good at what they do and are dedicated and doing it for the right reasons. And that's what I'm very happy about. Very, very happy about. It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, Wayne, Presbyterian not expected to be very good this year. They lost just about everybody. I don't know why Tech schedules games like that. I mean, they do it both on the men and the women's side. They've done it for a long time in basketball. I mean, look at the men's schedule here at home in the month of December. You're trying to build up your record, I guess, get wins, but it doesn't really do much for you to make you better. And Radford's guilty of it too. We just played St. Francis. That was a return game, though, and nobody could foresee they were going to drop down to Division III. We were basically playing another Division III team last week. You got Coppin State, who's the next to worst team in Division I, coming in the Dedmon Center on Sunday. They're 2-11. I think there are 365 teams, and they're ranked 364 in the latest power rankings. And I would think, the other way I would look at it is you going into conference play, usually at the end of the month or when the calendar flips, you would think you would schedule some games to kind of get your game sharpened a little bit for conference. But I don't know. They have their reasons, and I know it helps out Presbyterian. Presbyterian gladly takes that game because they got who knows how much money last night. David says at least the head coach at Michigan didn't take a spill on his Harley. Former head coach at Michigan. But Andy Bitter will talk about that. We'll talk about Brent Pry, all these things that are happening. We didn't get any more news on James Franklin hires. We got news that some guys he was targeting said no. We'll see what the staff looks like when it's all said and done. And does this change the mindset around current staff members being brought back? Maybe so. Maybe so. But we don't know a whole lot because they've shut down Merriman, remember? Yep. Offensive line, Prometheus, defensive backs, and linebackers coach. All said no. So I'm sure there are other people that are being talked to right now. I had let me read this to you. I sent this to Wayne. We get so many messages on the professional door text line, and I appreciate them all. And I got this one yesterday. It said, wow, so let me get this straight. Talking about what James Franklin has done so far with his staff. Defensive coordinator is a former head coach that led the program into the dumps. Recruiting was suspect. Portal was suspect. Stayed with players way past time to pull them. Lost respect to the players and probably the coaches, and is coming back to coach many of those players potentially that lost respect. Now the offensive coordinator that's been hired has never called plays for an offense, was part of an anemic offense at Penn State. Oh, and hired a quarterback coach that is wholly opposed to having the quarterback run the ball. Yes, the recruiting has been stellar, but the hiring has been the worst I've ever seen for a new head coach. And that was a text message I got yesterday. Yeah, I saw that, David. Yeah, Josh Patey's usually pretty good. That guy's usually on it. Reported that agents, everybody knew Michigan's job was in peril, that was going to come open, and everybody just kind of stayed quiet. So Jimmy Sexton knew. Todd Grantham knew 2 months ago, right? It was around. He didn't know probably it was this kind of thing. There you go, Jason. Look at that. People talking about their fencing. Out here in the country, a fence keeps my Chihuahua from roaming. But we can't leave her outside alone. There you go. So, Big Ten, man. Yeah, I think you can say that and it's okay that so far, from a staff perspective, you're not overwhelmed. You're a bit underwhelmed. You would have to be if you're honest about the hirings that have been announced so far for James Franklin. It's okay. You don't have to just act like everything is wonderful, that he can do no wrong, and he's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. I think given the same type of scenario that went in with the coaches that were hired before and the ones that have been announced so far, we're going to find out how that looks. But early on with what's been announced, I mean, are you doing cartwheels over Brent Pry coming back, an offensive coordinator that's never called plays, and a quarterback's coach who didn't necessarily develop quarterbacks? It's okay to look at it with an objective eye. Nobody's going to take away your Tech fan card. But you can't act like that this, oh, yeah, I'm fired up. We'll see how he rounds it out. We'll see. Wayne says, yeah, the one thing I said was Key was going to be hire the assistant coaching staff. Well, I'm worried again. We thought Fuente was a slam dunk, so hope springs eternal, I guess. Moore says, hell, I think Pry may be his best hire. Yeah. Looking forward to talking to Andy Bitter about all this coming up here in just a second. And we'll get his thoughts. And we got to get into the Michigan thing. There we go. Andy now has his invite. Yeah, exactly. No rush to judgment, Prometheus, 100%. But it's okay as we go step by step to kind of be able to have an open mind and go, that's not what I had envisioned. And I saw a lot of people, on the posts and the threads. It was probably 60-40 questioning the offensive coordinator choice and the quarterback coach. Penn State guys who didn't have options anywhere else. So we'll see. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely. But having, I guess, a cautious optimism is okay. Doesn't mean you're turning on the whole thing. It just means you got to look at it and go, okay. Okay. Correct. Attorney Ryan Pry. He's looking for guys who are loyal to him. And you can translate that to mean many things. Knowles, by the way, went to Tennessee yesterday, the defensive coordinator at Penn State. Took the Tennessee job. Looks like, what's his name? Is it Dan Connor, the linebackers coach? I don't know where all that is with him, but he followed everybody involved with Tech. Was that yesterday? That may have been, who was it? Somebody in chat may have told me that yesterday. That may have been you, Prometheus. I don't know. You or Tebow. Somebody mentioned that yesterday in chat. I don't know. Whatever. But I know people were assuming he was going to be. I know people thought Terry Smith was a slam dunk. Well, he signed a new contract with Penn State after Matt Campbell was hired. And now it looks like Connor's going somewhere else. Todd is clued in on where these assistants are going because, he's out there, So he knows. So I'll find out. Hopefully, if I get any information, we'll pass things along. So, I know he's not staying at Penn State. Yeah, I know that. He's going elsewhere. Just don't know where. So we'll see. I'm just saying it's okay to have. You can be encouraged, be excited. I want Tech fan. Tech fan deserves to feel good about stuff. You've suffered a long, long time. But this whole thing about how everything is terrific, and you got to be careful that you set yourself up for immense disappointment that way. And I've always been the kind of fan, I'm very critical of the teams that I root for. I don't sit back and just think everything is great, right? I don't think you can. You can be a blind rah-rah person all you want. That's great. But when I see stuff that Broncos do and the Padres, you just scratch your head. Doesn't mean you don't have fanship for them, but you got to have a objective viewpoint. I'm not going to sit there, especially the way sports are today, as corrupt as it is and all the money and the way the fans are the last ones that are thought of. We have every right to have an objective eye because it's our money, it's our support that's kept all these people multimillionaires. And I'm not just talking colleges. I'm talking, professional. I'm talking college sports too. But I have no idea. Many people have been asking me on the professional door text line. I have no idea what Michigan might do. I don't know how they're going to fill out a coaching staff. I asked Grantham. He said, I don't know. He said, who knows what they're going to do. Hokey Rock said we got too high, so they had to bring us down. So we did no D. Look, if you're all on board with Franklin, that's great. That's great. You have that right to be excited. No one's taking that away from you. But I find it hard to believe, as smart as this audience is, that you can look at the announcements so far that have been on the coaching staff and be like, yeah, these are slam dunks. Come on. Hey, Rick, I always have to hear about a 24-year-old in cheerleading camp. What? Yeah, that's true. Down in North Carolina, that's right. David, by the way, look, the situation at Union High School is extremely serious. Has there been any updates other than this whole charade that they can't find him? I mean, you're in far southwest Virginia. And I don't mean this negatively, but you don't necessarily have a way to get out of the country easily, right? Do we still not have, is it still just left as, and I have an update, I haven't checked it in a few days. Are they still just looking? For Turner? They think he's in Mexico? Yeah, I know you can disappear, Rox, but to leave the country, couldn't you? They think he got out. Wow. I don't know. I had not heard an update for a while, so that's crazy. Good morning, Chris. How are you? Hey, Tebow. Good morning, brother. All right. Well, I guess we'll get updated as it happens. But that's been a bizarre lack of story recently with what's going on at Union High School. Glenver beat them over the weekend. All right, joining us now on the program, there he is. He's Andy Bitter, senior writer for Tech Sideline. How you feeling? You feeling better? I know you weren't feeling great last week.
A little better. I got some feedback from people. They were like, you sounded like death. I'm like, yeah. Felt like it for a little bit. Yeah, so.
Well, thank you for fighting through it. I appreciate that. So how you been, man? A lot going on in Blacksburg. What do you think so far of the coaching staff that's been announced? The ones that we know about. I guess it hasn't been announced, but ones that are being circulated.
Yeah, it's interesting. They give you this, or give Franklin $9.5 million, and I think people start dreaming big about coordinator hires and who can you bring in. Chip Kelly's available, and he got Jim Knowles last year, and who's going to be his home run hire this year. And he ends up hiring Brent Pry, who he's worked with for a long time, and obviously former head coach here, with kind of a weird situation. And then Ty Howell is an offensive coordinator. To go Tyler Bowen? No, Ty Howell, different guy, similar background, tight ends coach at Penn State, who doesn't really have a whole big history of play calling. And you go, these were the hires that you made with all that money, but this is the way he wanted to go. This is the familiarity he has. He trusts these guys. And like I've been saying with Pry, if Franklin had gone to another school, say he'd gone to Auburn or something like that, and hired Pry as his defensive coordinator, nobody would have batted an eye.
No.
It would have been like, no, that just makes sense. Those guys have a history together. So why wouldn't he do that when he's here? The reason would be, it's really awkward for Pry being back in that building. But if he's fine with it, what's the issue?
Unprecedented, right, though, for the same calendar year. For, like you said, you hit right on the head. It's the same school that fired him. Fans were so down on him to come back in the same – for the guy who tutored. It's just – it's a unique story, isn't it, in college football history?
Yeah, and you've seen some guys return to situations. I mean, Vance Joseph is back in Denver after being the head coach there. The Mississippi State coach, a year removed after being fired. He was an interim coach or took over from Mike Leach after that, but now he's back with the program there. But they at least had some separation.
Yes.
There's at least a year in Vance Joseph's situation. I think it was 3 years in between. So, it's not as fresh going back into that situation. And again, if it's okay with Pry, I don't know why it'd be a problem for anybody else. Now, defense has a rough day in some game. Are some old memories going to bubble up in the fan base? Are they going to be a little more critical and quick with the trigger because they have a history with Pry and they've seen some games where the defense has not stood up and held leads late in the game? I think you lose maybe that honeymoon period, but other than that, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do this if you're Franklin, if that's the guy that you are comfortable with and you have a history with.
Well, I know we don't really know everything. Mike Burnip revealed Tuesday on the show that they've shut down Merriman, which is interesting. They
got security over there in the front of the building. Still got in the other day. It's not the greatest.
Hey, you got in? Good.
It's not that tough to fight another way in, if we're being honest.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. I didn't know if you guys had to go through barbed wire and all that, to kind of climb over.
They've got somebody at security out front, but I mean, there are other doors to Castle, and that's all connected. So,
well, good. Any other scuttlebutt? You hearing any credible, rumors around who might be added next on his staff?
I think a pretty good chance for Fontel to stick around. Defensively, there's all sorts of rumblings about, hey, can they go get Coach Chaos from Texas A&M, the defensive line coach. Spencer down there has a history with Brent Pry. We'll see. I'll believe that Tech pulls a guy from Texas A&M when I see it, and that place has a lot of money that they can keep guys. So we'll see how that goes. Question about Anthony Poindexter, whether he stays at Penn State, whether he wants to come and rejoin Franklin and Pry again, have a history there, coaching together. Elijah one for staying, perhaps. I see Penn State's running backs coach is going to South Carolina. Perhaps that opens up a spot if there's a chance that he could come here, and that's not going to happen. Now you look at it and go, well, Elijah Brooks has done a pretty good job with Bashal Toot and Marcellus Hawkins. Jeffrey Overton looked pretty promising last year. He's got those recruiting connections up at DeMatha and DC. It feels like a guy that would make sense to keep on the staff. So we'll see. I think they, obviously want to probably construct this entire staff before they announce it. They haven't even announced the coordinator hires yet. So I don't know when we're going to hear officially when all these guys come in, but it might be still a little bit of a while here.
Yeah. Andy Bitter joining us from Tech Sideline. Well, other things as we await more news from Blacksburg, your thoughts on the playoff and this wrangling by Bavacqua and Notre Dame is it's been entertaining to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame can sit down. We don't need to hear them complain, but for the first time in the history of Notre Dame, something has not worked out for them, and they're throwing a hissy fit about this and taking their ball and going home and we're not going to play in a bowl game. It's like, guess what? We won't miss you in the bowl season. That'll be fine. We'll pick up and we'll soldier on. Do I think they should be in the playoff? Yeah. And not instead of Miami. I think they should be instead of JMU. I don't think we need two of these group of 5 teams in the field. I think it waters down the playoff field to have 2 of them. And I know they got in under the current rules. I think the current rules need to change. If you're not a top 20 champion, then I don't think you should be in the playoff. Simple as that. Duke won, and I don't think Duke should have been in the playoff. I think if your team ranked that low, we're determining the national champion. I think you need to have teams that are pretty highly ranked. So I understand having one group of 5 team. That's the don't sue us spot. Hey, please, group of 5 schools. Hey, you have access. Please don't sue us. That's what that is for. To have 2 of them, I feel like there are 2 non-competitive games going in this quarterfinal round. There's only 4 of them. So that half the games already, I'm crossing off the list and going, I just don't think this is going to be competitive at all. Now, listen, if Cinderella wins and makes that competitive, it'd be great. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Right. So I guess the next move is they're going to expand it again. Jim Phillips brought that up yesterday, right? They got to revisit everything.
I think they were going to expand it anyway.
They were. Too much money.
Yeah, if they go anything beyond 16, it's just I can live with 16. I've seen a 16-team field. And you look at how NIL has sort of evened the playing field in a lot. Indiana's number 1. What is going on with that? But you look at the teams that were left out this year: BYU, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt, Texas. These are all interesting teams that I think if you expand the field a little bit to 16, nobody gets a bye. It's just a nice clean bracket. I think that is doable, and I could live with that. 16 teams is about 12% of the FBS teams. Yeah. I'm fine with that. If that's what it is, and it's a true playoff, and nobody gets a bye, and just play it straight and do that. Where I have a problem is when they start talking about like 24. And they're like, we're going to do play-in games from the power conference teams to conference championships. It's like, who wants to see that? I saw one 24-team playoff that they had. The number 24 seed was Pitt.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
And I'm like, I don't need to know if Pitt can win the national championship. I think we've already decided that this season.
Right.
This does not need to play out in December. All due respect to Pitt and our team, but they lost to Notre Dame 70-7 or something like that. I mean, we don't need to see them in the playoffs. So if you're expanding it to the point where you're including Pitt, reevaluate your position and shrink that thing up a little bit. You go 16, you're not going to get 16 quality teams every year, but this year I thought the bubble was very strong.
Right.
And it wouldn't be a bad thing if they expanded a little for this year, but you're not going to get that every year. And you're certainly not going to find 24 teams that are worthy of playing for this thing.
Yeah, 16 I think should be the final number. I agree. FCS has done very well with their tournament, and there's a lot more money to be made, and that'll come to reality, and ESPN will be on board. Oh, even more money we can kind of design here for ourselves. But Jimmy, Big Ten guy. I mean, I'm waking up today. I had no idea it was. I'm just blown away by what happened with Sharon Wright. This is unreal.
Yeah, I was as shocked as you were. I mean, nobody could have seen this coming. This is one of the craziest stories of the year. For it to happen, it's like, whoa. For them to come out in the release and be like fired for cause, like you don't normally see schools that definitive when they come out and say something like that. Usually sort of covering their bases. Now this will be just, figured out legally later on. And then you hear some of the details about this, some of the rumored details. Then he ends up in police custody at the end of the day. I mean, it turned like, oh, this is, everybody's joking about this thing to like, this is sad and perhaps tragic here. I mean, you have to kind of pump the brakes, and everybody's getting their jokes off on Twitter and stuff like this. But this is like, all of a sudden you see he's arrested. And you're like, oh, this took a turn. This is like serious, beyond the absurdity of what happened before. So sad situation where it's kind of turning, but also just insane. I mean, This is one of the craziest. I mean, this is Bobby Petrino level stuff at Arkansas when the motorcycle. I mean, nothing will touch the motorcycle crash absurdity, and he's there in a neck brace and all this stuff at his press conference. And I think that one remains untouched in terms of coaching exits, but this is moving up the ranks to number 2.
Well, if the report's true that he went to her house and allegedly had her bound and tried to hold her by knife point, then that may move up to number 1 for me.
It might. I mean, you don't have the visual like you do Bobby Petrino, but
with the neck, I forgot about the neck brace. Yeah. I forgot about that. It's wild though, and apparently Michigan knew about it, and this is going to get ugly. I think a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of people.
Probably, it's interesting to me that if they knew about it for a while, that they waited till right after signing day to do this. It's like, what? I mean, you think those players have rights now? They can just up and leave. They don't.
Sure.
It's not like, oh, we got them. They can't go.
Right, they're going to leave. Right, absolutely.
And you look at all these, highly ranked prospects that just signed. People are contacting these guys, including Virginia Tech, I would imagine.
Sure.
Made a push for a lot of these signees from Virginia, top recruits in the state. So
sure.
To be continued. We'll see how that plays out.
I want to backtrack to Miami a little bit, making the field. You've seen them. It feels like Miami could be one of those teams that gets in. They could go on a little bit of a run here. I mean, we know how talented they are. Do you see Miami being able to win a game, maybe putting some pressure on some people that are going to be favored?
Wouldn't surprise me. They get Texas A&M, and I forget who they feed into in the next round.
Yeah.
That's the 7-10, so that would go into the 2 seed. Is that Georgia?
Yeah, I think
that they
so.
go
Yeah.
into next. Yeah, maybe. I think where Miami is best is if Miami is a little under the radar.
Yeah.
When Miami, it's like, oh, the U is back, and they're, pounding their chest and all this stuff, and they have all these expectations on them. I feel like that's sort of when Miami is a flop, and that's where they have letdowns. But I'm not saying they're sneaking up on people, but they snuck into this field and got a gift there at the end. I think the way that the committee just, we're going to reevaluate this Notre Dame Miami situation. They corrected a wrong that they had previously in the rankings, but I think that they can do some damage if they get rolling here in the playoffs. We'll see how they do, and a lot of teams are good once they get to this stage. I think Texas A&M is pretty good, so that's one of the matchups in the first round. Actually, that's the only matchup in the first round that really intrigues me a ton, because we've already seen Alabama, Oklahoma, and if it weren't for those being name brand teams, I think it'd be like, okay, a rematch in the first round of this thing. Miami, Texas A&M is interesting to me.
It is. I think you're right. It's Alabama with the 3 losses. There was a lot back and forth. What was your thought about that? How, Herb Street's saying you can't punish them, but you have to punish BYU. I mean, yeah, maybe they are one of the best 12 teams in the country, because we know people watch their games a lot, which had a lot to do with that too. But what were your thoughts about how the hypocrisy a little bit, how BYU had to be punished, but not so much Alabama?
Yeah, I kind of understand it, because those aren't the same situation. Alabama had beaten Georgia in Athens earlier in the year. So they're playing a 13th game that Miami and Notre Dame didn't have to play. And they lost. They look bad, but they also lost to a team that they had beaten earlier in the year. Whereas BYU lost again to a team that had lost earlier in the year. That was the only other playoff caliber team that had played all year. So I can understand BYU dropping a little bit and not punishing Alabama in that situation. As much as I hate to say that this is a double standard. Everybody wants to come out against Alabama and they get treated differently and all this stuff. I think there's a reason why they got treated differently in this situation. And if I'm Alabama and I'm like, okay, we would have been in the field if we had just opted out of the SEC title game, but because we chose to play that game, didn't look great in a national win. Whereas Miami didn't play in one. Miami could have played in one and lost to Virginia. They wouldn't have been in. Notre Dame didn't play anyone, and honestly hasn't played anyone really in the second half of the season.
No.
Why did they get dinged for going out there and having to play a quality team? The one that ended up being the number 2 seed in the playoffs. So I can't believe I'm sitting here defending Alabama's seeding in the playoff. I don't like it either. You put me in this position where I have to defend Alabama.
You SEC show you.
I've been accused of that quite a bit. I can see why Alabama has a case not to move anywhere. I mean, if you want to actually protect these championship games, conference championship games, and say that we're going to still do them, I think this is how you have to treat those participants, because otherwise, who's going to play in them? And in BYU's case, they weren't in the playoff anyway. They had to win to get in and move up in the seeding. So I think the situations were slightly different.
Army Navy this weekend. We're dwindling down with college football. It's always a special game. Do you still enjoy watching the Army Navy game for all the pageantry and what it means? I do. I really enjoyed this game.
I do, and I always like their special helmets that they do.
Yeah, they've gone to that. Yeah.
What was the one that Navy had one year that was like the different types of ship based on whatever their rank was or whatever?
Exactly.
That was really cool.
That was cool.
I think Army had the 101st Infantry, the Band of Brothers type thing. They had the logo on the side of their helmets one year. That's all cool. It's the only game on. I think it's still kind of cool that they have their own special weekend where that's the game going on. And a lot of people watch because of the pageantry. A lot of people watch because they're like, I just want to watch football on this weekend. This is the only thing on. So I will be tuning in, and it should be enjoyable.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Well, AB, thanks, man. Thanks for braving the ill feelings again, physically, I mean, not mentally or emotionally. But thank you so much for battling through. You did sound a lot better today, by the way.
That's good. As long as people aren't saying I'm sounding like death, that'll be slight improvement. All we're looking is to get better every day.
What you got coming up? What are you looking to do now? Tech side, you just waiting for news? What do you got coming up? What do you got planned?
Waiting for news. I'm so far behind in grading papers and podcasts on my class that that's all I'm going to be doing for the next 5 days.
I got you.
Yeah, wrapping up the semester is kind of my priority here. So hopefully Virginia Tech doesn't have too much news, because when they do, I'm like, oh God, I got to deal with this stuff now. So
That's right. All right, my friend. Appreciate you as always. Hope you feel better.
All right,
man. Be good. There you go. Andy Bitter. Good stuff. Yeah, just kind of waiting. Just waiting on news. That's what we're doing. Waiting on news. Good stuff. Tim Miller going to join us here coming up. Really? Read last night it takes 4 hours per helmet to paint. Really? Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's one game I don't mind them, like, when they do stuff to specialize what the academies mean. I do that. I thought that was pretty cool with how they changed the ship. I don't know. It's a great game. I love the Army-Navy game. By the way, thanks everybody asking in chat. Creed is injured. He's so active outside and so forth. And I think it happens when you jump or when you're running and maybe you go down a hill and you're trying to, but he's got an abscess right on top of, right below his shoulder, his left shoulder. It's the second one that he's gotten. It's not yet ready to be lanced. I had to do it before about, I don't know, a year and a half ago. It's not a pleasant thing, but it has to get to a certain level. You know what I'm talking about, right? It has to get pretty hard around the whole circumference, and then you got to go in there and drain all that out. And it's not going to be a pleasant thing. He's feeling it. It's sad. You know, if you have a pet, it's sad. He's trying to adapt, but he knows he's not right. And, you know, he went out today trying to do his thing, came back pretty quickly. So I'm guessing probably this weekend I'll have to get the old trusty pocket knife out, my dad's knife, which is probably one of the 2 or 3 most prized possessions that I own, and do what I did last time. And it's not good. You got to glove up. You got to wear the jacket because it is painful. And you try to hold him down as best you can, but he will let me know how much he doesn't like that. So, yeah, got to deal with that. But thank you for everybody who's asking. Appreciate that. I'll keep you posted. Yeah. Tebow says with Miami, it's about Carson Beck. Yeah. They feel like they could do some things, don't they? They could beat A&M. Beck plays well? No, not at all, Opal. Thank you. I appreciate everybody thinking about me, thinking about him. He's kind of the unofficial mascot. Well, he is not the unofficial mascot. He is the mascot of the program. Big Dog Sports Talk. He doesn't take any offense by that. But no, not at all. Not at all. And the reason I feel comfortable doing it is because I did it growing up with our livestock and with animals. You know, I've seen it a lot of times before. So it's not unique from that perspective. So I've done it before. So I don't want anybody thinking that I'm taking a knife to my kitty. No, I kind of know what I'm doing. And I could take him to a vet and they would charge me whatever it would be just to do the same thing. I don't really need that. And plus he's here, not the stress of being taken over there and dealing with all that, right? So not pleasant, but boy, it'll gush, man. The nastiness will come out immediately, and then you got to get the antibiotic right in, pour it right in, and then it starts to, it looks, you know what it looks like? I don't want to be too graphic, but it looks kind of like a science experiment we did in high school when it's open and the infection starts to come out, and then you pour in the, it's a peroxide type of thing. It's just like that. Just like that. Yeah, cut me, Mick. Morris says can't cry for Notre Dame, but they should have been in over Bama. One blue blood screws another. ESPN was never going to let that happen. But, yeah, I can't disagree. 3 losses is 3 losses. Is Alabama one of the best 12 teams? Maybe. 16 teams will help solve all this. I think that. I believe that. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But I think 16 teams, and I know people are going to say, well, what about the teams that get in, that don't get in? They're going to complain. I get that. But I think at 16, if you're number 17, you're going, all right, you know what? Hey, Wes, how are you? Yeah, hey, Wes, yeah, you picked up a shirt from Janet. Thank you. Yeah, I told you, the material on these things are great. If you want a shirt, by the way, they're $20 locally. Wes got one yesterday. It's great. Just awesome. Thanks, man. Spread the word about the shirts. They are cool. Great Christmas gift. And only $20. If you want to go out and buy a T-shirt at a store, go ahead. Tell me how much it costs. High quality, and they look great. Yeah. Sorry, I'm sending email invites. Tim Miller scheduled to join us here. Coming up. Tim Miller from Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Just making sure he got everything. He's the director of sports tourism. So there you go. Thank you, Wes. Here you go. Hang on. Now that we're promoting the shirts here, here's the back. Awesome. This is done perfectly by Top Shelf, by the way, just enough so it's not. And then there's the little front, the secondary logo right there. So soft, but yet so sturdy. Not too soft, but not. Don't you want one? You know you need one. Okay. Sorry. Thanks, everybody. I really do. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot. And I'll keep you posted. He's off in the abyss now because he knows he's hurt, and I hate that. I hate that he's hurt. We'll get to Dwight Vick coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll talk about what he thinks of the Tech staff so far and everything going on in college football, the playoff, and everything. We love Dwight. Joining us now on the program, as we've been talking about, he is the director of sports tourism and entertainment. Of course, Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program, and there is Tim Miller. Tim, how are you, man? Good morning.
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Thanks so much for jumping on.
I can't believe it's snowing again, but
Is it really?
Well, it is in downtown Pulaski.
Really? Okay. We're kind of clear up here in Reiner. Isn't that amazing that we're really that close, but yet it's that different?
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, Tim, so many things. We've talked to Jonathan a couple of times, and everything that Pulaski County Sports Entertainment is doing. And I'm telling you, man, when we had the release here on the show about the Speedway opening back up, and then when we had Jonathan on, people are stoked, man. Can you talk about this development and what it's going to mean and how long this has been kind of in the workings? And then you had the final announcement. Congratulations, man. It's a really cool thing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a long time coming. It actually goes all the way back to, so I've been here almost a year. And it's been about a year since I first visited Pulaski and spent the day with Jonathan, and he kind of drove me around and showed me, Calfee Park and, where the Sportsplex is going to be. And then I remember pulling into the motorsports park, and I was just floored. I was like, my goodness. And I'm from Richmond. So I've been around, Richmond Raceway for a while, and I've seen some other facilities, but for a community of this size to have a facility of that magnitude, it blew me away. And he kind of told me that, kind of how it came to be in the possession of the county, and that there was some debate about, what was going to be done with it. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if I come here, there's no way we can just let this sit here and rot. And there's no way we can bulldoze this thing. We've got to give this another go and see what we can really make of it. And so ever since I got here, it was one of the things that I was focused on was kind of figuring out, all right, who do I engage with to really understand the history, the potential, and how we would go about doing this. So it's been, I've got a couple of people in the local community that I'm not a motorsports guy specifically. My background is sports marketing, event development, event management, venue management. I mean, I have done a little bit of work at Richmond Raceway, so I've got a little bit of exposure to it.
Yeah.
But I needed some people to help me that were really deep into the motorsports world, and there are a few people that have been incredible advisors on this thing, kind of evaluating all the pieces and parts and all the possibilities and all that stuff. So it's been a long process. It's been a lot of conversations with all the sanctioning bodies, all the touring series operators, some local drivers, and to kind of get to this point. But we finally got to the point where, like, you know what, it's we're either going to do this or we're not. And like I said, I always felt like we had to give this a go.
Well, and I know the reception, I mean, what Jonathan was talking has been terrific, right? From those sanctioning bodies, everybody's excited, and drag strip possibility. I mean, there's so many different things, right, that you guys are now connected to.
Yeah, it's amazing. When you talk about the oval, the number of people that have said to me, it's one of the favorite tracks, at least in the region, if not in the entire country, that, there is something about this track that people love. I mean, it's got, more banking than a lot of tracks do. So, the drivers really love it. They can maintain higher speeds through the turns. And, it's also, I mean, David Hagan and his team did a phenomenal job developing this facility, adding on to it, making it really a world-class motorsports park. And so we're fortunate to, have it in our possession now. And like you said, that adding the drag strip to the equation, I'm not sure which, and it's one of the things I've learned is there is a complete difference between the what we call the circle racing world and the drag strip world. There is almost no crossover whatsoever. So it gives us an opportunity to have, two separate audiences at this facility, and really, that's a pretty exciting opportunity.
Tim Miller joining us on the program. Of course, he is the director of sports tourism and entertainment. And what's great too about this, Tim, is that how many other surrounding areas are excited, and everybody's kind of joining up and following what Pulaski County's doing. The partnership when people, and I love that. And that's something I know Jonathan's proud of too. It just, everybody's watching and trying to learn. There's always constant communication with other counties and cities, whatever it might be, because everybody understands, man, this is an entire area, not just Pulaski County. It really hasn't been taken advantage of like it should be.
Yeah. And we often look at this as, what we're doing from a sports and entertainment perspective is, it's not just, I mean, yes, it's about Pulaski County, obviously. And at the end of the day, it's about, getting people to, come here and spend the night and, spend food in our restaurants and all that stuff. But it's bigger than that. It's, we think of this as, this is not just a Pulaski thing. This is a New River Valley thing. This is a Southwest Virginia thing. Because we want to be, we want to be doing things that are big enough to attract people from, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours away. That the things we are doing are compelling enough to get people to, travel here and spend the night here. And whether it's motorsports or, tournaments, that we're doing in the Sportsplex, or, the River Turtles or other things that we might do at Calfee Park. And it's even, it goes beyond just those facilities. I mean, I've got a pretty significant background in the cycling world, and so I've been working on a big, sort of off-road bike race that may come to fruition here in Pulaski. So, it's doing things that really kind of put us out there as a sports and entertainment destination and a tourism destination. I mean, that's the other great thing about this is if we do this right and we get people to come here for these sports and entertainment events, but then they discover all the other amazing things that Pulaski has, the New River Trail, Claytor Lake, downtown Pulaski is starting to emerge as a cool, chic kind of thing. And, all the other great things that are here. That's really what this is all about.
Well, and it's like you mentioned, it's sports and entertainment, and a lot of people have asked about the Sportsplex, and I know eventually the plan's going to be people asking about music, asking about concerts, things like that seem to have been taken out of our communities, even down in Roanoke, where it was such a staple for so many years. It doesn't happen as often, and I know that's something else that's going to materialize. As Jonathan said, it's not going to hopefully materialize. It's going to materialize. I know people are going to be just out of their minds about that.
Yeah. And the hardest part about that is decide. We've got all these great options for where to do concerts. And the hardest part is like, okay, well, which one? Or are we going to do this at the Motorsports Park? Could we do this at Calfee? All these other, open spaces where, you could do an outdoor concert, a multi-day festival like it. So yeah, it's funny. Like since I've been here, probably the hardest part of what I've had to do is sort of narrow down and focus on a handful of things, which has been difficult because there's so much potential and so many opportunities.
Yeah. Because you have all these, and opportunity is the key word. Everything that this entire group does, what your group does, is look at everything as an opportunity. It's so refreshing.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of always going into something and going in glass maybe a quarter full, all you and your staff do, Tim, go into somewhere and go, this is full. Well, it's just 3/4 full. We're going to finish it off now. And that's such a refreshing thing today to see from a group. It really is.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. I mean, all of this is, it's an opportunity, like I said, to impact tourism, to impact economic development. And, it's funny. It's even for a lot of companies around town, it impacts their ability to recruit employees. If we all of a sudden have all these cool things going on in Pulaski County and all these things for people to do, it makes it easier for employers from outside of the area because people come and, they may come here and interview for a job. And then they're like, oh, wow, there's the Motorsports Park. There's the River Turtles. There's all these concerts going on. Like this could be and all the, hiking trails and biking trails and the lake. Like all of a sudden people are like, wow, this is kind of a cool place to live.
Well, let's talk about your connection here. This was a position that was newly created. Of course, you're filling for the first time. What was some of the things when you got here and you met Jonathan that you mentioned the areas are naturally beautiful anyway with the terrain, but what was it, some of the things that really made this place appeal to you?
I mean, number one, it was so like I said, I'm from Richmond, and I've always I would say sort of been attracted to the mountains. I actually went to Roanoke College, so I'm not completely foreign to the area. And my wife actually went to Tech, so we've got some connections here. But it was coming out here, and there aren't a lot of places that have both mountains and water, and so that was pretty intriguing. But then seeing these facilities, seeing Jonathan's vision, and as you can imagine, spending a day with him or the better part of a day with him. I mean, number one, it's exhausting, but
any energy there? I don't sense there's any energy with that guy.
But number two, it's like he's so passionate about this and so committed to this. It's hard not to get excited. And I remember, at the time when I came, the Sportsplex building was nothing had been started. None of the work had started on it yet. And he's running me around the building like, oh, we're going to do this here and we're going to do this here. And, it's like, wow, like this is pretty impressive. And so I think that, and then just the people too. I mean, everybody I met has back then and still today is just so welcoming and supportive and wanting to see this work and wanting to help. But I think at the end of the day, it was just, again, it goes back to that word opportunity, seeing these facilities and kind of thinking about what, the opportunity to make a difference was, I think, the thing that was the most appealing to me. And also like, again, that word, the opportunity to sort of build something from scratch. So that's something I've done a couple of times in my career, and it's something I really enjoy is being able to build something from scratch, and at some point being able to look back and being like, wow, like look what we did.
Right.
That's cool.
No, 100%. And having grown up in Pulaski County, I lived in Dublin, but many of my friends, consolidation of school, you go to Pulaski County from Pulaski, and you remember the stories of how it was. And let's be honest, people know from around here, this place, it just deteriorated to where you didn't recognize it. And
right.
It was very sad to see. And the historical part just completely got lost with how really kind of run down with loss of industry, whatever it might be. And yet here you guys are, you mentioned how the downtown looks now. It's unrecognizable in all the best ways possible from even a year or two ago. And it's just so great to see that energy back. And it just proves that anything with the right kind of passion and the right kind of positive energy can be turned into something special. And that's what Pulaski County Sports Entertainment's all about.
It is. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And, it's been, this first year has been a little bit everything. It's been fun. It's been challenging. It's been frustrating at times, but it's at the end of the day, it's all, moving in the right direction. And kind of, it feels like that promise of what it can be is starting to meld. And so, especially with like the motorsports park thing and, the Sportsplex is chugging along and is on schedule to be completed, next year. And so, and then you got the, Calfee Park and the River Turtles, which just continues to sort of, that's the one I don't even have to worry about it because it's just,
Yes.
It does its thing.
Yeah. It's a national historic baseball. It just is. So we had somebody it's interesting. We had somebody in text and then two people here on the, somebody in chat and two people on the text. So what about the air shows at NRV Airport? Is that something that down the road you guys might look at again? I don't know whether it's been on your agenda yet, but those used to be a big thing at the NRV Airport up there in Dublin. Yeah, so we've talked about that. Technically, that is a tourism event. So Erica Talbert, our director of tourism, is really that's her bailiwick. Okay. Whether at some point I get pulled into helping with that or not, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But that's not currently in my portfolio, shall we say? But it might happen, peeps. Keep an eye out. If it can happen, it can happen. No, so. It has been discussed, and I think it's something that there's an interest in bringing that back. So yeah, we'll see. The more people show interest, the more that might impact whether or not it does come back. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, let me ask you, Tim, here before I let you off. I mean, now that we're heading through winter, get through the holidays, calendar's going to flip. It's going to be warm soon enough, right? What's some of the next steps? What's some of the things people can look the most forward to with either future announcements and some other developments that are happening? I mean, I would say in January, we will be announcing the schedule at the Motorsports Park and some other details. We've really been focused on trying to secure some touring series events as well as a focus on some local racing divisions. And it's going to be more than just motorsports too. I mean, like we talked about concerts, but there are any number of other things, running events, cycling events, right. Car shows, all kinds of things,
So I would anticipate that coming out in early January. We're trying to button up some of the final details now. On the Sportsplex side, there's some announcements coming out. We've got a logo that we're going to introduce for the Sportsplex, and hope to start announcing some tournaments and other events that we're going to do there. Like a couple of, I've got a couple of things in mind. For example, we might do a boat show at the, like a winter boat show in the Sportsplex next year, or I've thought about an outdoor sports and recreation expo kind of thing. But also, the basketball, volleyball, pickleball, all those kinds of things. And hopefully we'll be able to start making some announcements about those. None of that will happen until early 2027. But I hope we'll be able to start announcing some of those things soon.
Yeah.
And then, like I mentioned, some of these other events that don't necessarily take place in any of these facilities, but somewhere in the county, hopefully we'll start announcing some of those things soon. The best way for people to stay informed and connected, is to go to our website, sign up. We have a monthly newsletter, electronic newsletter that we send out that you can sign up for. Just enter your email address and you'll be on the list to get all the latest information. As well as, social media accounts, obviously, but our website is playpulaskiva.org.
Easy enough. Play Pulaski VA. That's it. Go do it, folks. You can get that newsletter and keep up to date. They'll do a great job of that. And Tim, thanks so much for jumping on, man. We appreciate it. And we're going to do this more and more with your entire staff. Anybody you guys want to throw at us. And I mean it so much. It's an honor that you guys are the presenter. It means a heck of a lot being a Pulaski County guy. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, from my perspective, you're doing a fantastic job. The show seems to be going great. And, we're proud to sponsor it and look forward to seeing how things evolve over the next, 8 or 9 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever it is, or perpetually.
Exactly. Well, we can't wait, man. We can't wait to see it all develop. And thanks for all your work, man. And keep it going. Tell Jonathan I said hello. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Talk to you soon.
There you go. That's Tim Miller, ladies and gentlemen. And that's exciting, right? People excited. Director of Sports Tourism Entertainment coming here, as he said. He kind of knew the area. He gets here now. He loves the area. It's great. Great. Thanks for all the great comments and the questions, by the way, coming through on chat and everybody on the Professional Door Incorporated text line. It's good. People are interested, man. It means a lot. And it's Pulaski County, obviously, but everybody in the surrounding communities can take advantage of what they're doing up there. Great people. I get encouraged by talking to anybody from Jonathan's staff up there. They're just, you get down on everything and, life kind of throws all this stuff at you. And then you hear that and it does give you some hope, doesn't it? It's exciting, man. It's exciting stuff. Yeah. Thanks, Tim, for everything. And thanks everybody for the great comments. We appreciate that. Yeah. The Michigan story. Yeah. See the text. It's been mind-blowing what's happening with Michigan football and what they've ignored, what they've covered up, and then what kind of imploded later yesterday evening and then throughout the night. And now their coach is in jail. And with the things that are coming out allegedly that happened leading up to that, it is very frightening and so irresponsible by everybody involved at that institution. Nobody should have a damn job. I mean, I'm reading all this stuff, and if all this is true, and we'll wait because it is alleged, but he's not in jail for no reason. Talking about Sharon. If he went, it's hard to believe even uttering these sentences. If he went to his mistress's house, held her at knife point, tied her up, threatened to kill her before he killed himself, and Michigan allowed all this to keep going on for the last month and a half. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Anyway. Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner, says that they're going to explore many changes to the tiebreaker procedures related to the championship game. Oh, that's awesome, Tebow. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's a nice area. It is. Pulaski County, and you got people that are going to continue to make it better. Great people up there, Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Because just, 2, 3, 4 years ago, man, you could go through Pulaski and you just get sad. You just get sad. Spend a lot of time there. I drive through it when I worked with the Pulaski Yankees calling their games and David Hagan. You drive through all that to get to Calfee Park, which was the oasis and what was just this barren remnants of the past that didn't exist anymore. And if you go there now, it's bustling. There's shops everywhere. There's restaurants. Renovated the theater. I mean, it's the railroads highlighted. It's really nice. And it's all due to the efforts of those folks. So, yeah, that's good news, Tebow. I think you would like that move. You would. You would. Dwight Vick going to join us here coming up. But, yeah, good stuff. That's right, TLB. The NRV as a whole, we do. You know what? Why not the NRV? We hear about Roanoke all the time. Hear about other places, and we kind of, not us, we kind of always hear about how this area can't do this area can't do that. And I don't agree with any of it. 100%. We live in a really special place here in Southwest Virginia. We really do. By the way, Marty Smith and Coach Ragsdale back with us on December 16th. That's next week. That's Tuesday. Next Tuesday, Marty and Rags. Brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Virginia Farm Bureau Insurance. Thanks to Family Fencing. They get a lot of play today on the chat room. Give them a call for a free quote, man. They won't charge you. 540-200-8294. They'll come out, talk to you, get to meet you. I want to get to meet you. Then they'll check out your property and let you know how they can. McClellan Chiropractic, speaking of setting you up, Mark Hundley, go trust him. His unbelievably updated scientific equipment. It's unbelievable. Huge building. Huge building. Ready, set, fun with Bob Christ. BobChrist11 at gmail.com. They have text messages prepared. The way you hit the market. Go for it. They will help you raise money. Travis Williams, the best commercial residential garage door company around. They've been hired by so many places outside of our area. They have a full staff now, thanks to you that heard us bring in the call toward here on the show, and you answered it. Great people. Travis is the best. The best. National Bank member, FDIC. My banking partner for 35 years, the show's exclusive banking partner. I've never had any issues with them. That's hard to say. They've always worked through any issues I've had because of other means. If you're looking for a new bank, you should go and check out National Bank. Ryan Pride, the attorney, 701 West Main Street, Trust and Estate Planning. And the anti-Brent Pry hiring crowd's going to win. We're over 70-some people now that say, no, they don't like it. And I get it. I get it. Little River Heating and Air, Charles Lee, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. We just talked to Tim Miller, presenting sponsor of this program, Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. I know everybody enjoyed that. How great was that? That was awesome. Thanks to James Lawson, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, located at 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Give James a call, 540-381-8011. They are terrific in every way, shape, and form. And, we are going to do some more things with the NRV Super Bowl. I would like to anyway. We got to get with them. I think we could have a lot of fun. I think our first BDST bash needs to be at the Super Bowl. What do you think? They renovated it. Speaking of all these things that they're doing, December the 12th, they start NRV Nightlife from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. They have a Neoverse, they're calling it, 1,900 square feet. A Neoverse wall, new lighting, glow-in-the-dark bowling. Don't you think that'd be fun for our group? Call Amanda or Terry at 540-382-5525, and we salute Sarah Williams, the bowler of the month. Don't you think this is the kind of group, glow-in-the-dark bowling? Don't you think that fits us to a T? We can put games on, have the beverages flowing, bowling alley food. Come on. That's where we should do the meetup. We could just rent the whole place out. Wouldn't that be fun? Yes, 100% TLB. Just the history of our home area is captivating. Just read The Land That Is Pulaski County by Conway Howard Smith. All right, cool. Good stuff. Yeah, you love hearing about, the creation of this place, don't you? Hey, Fan, the NRV Super Bowl is great. Our fraternity would always bowl there every Thursday with Special Olympics. Oh, that's awesome. It is great. I used to go up to the Leisure Lanes in Pulaski. Remember Leisure Lanes? My mom, by the way, was an incredible bowler. Everybody has a unique skill that kind of takes you off guard. My mom was a nurse her whole professional life, and they actually had a team from Pulaski Hospital, and she was like a ringer, man. I was like, wow, Mom was good. She could bowl, man. And the Super Bowl has a children's league. That's awesome. Oh, that's great. Speaking of community-oriented, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Tebow says, going back to so far the staff announcements, these hires are very underwhelming, but I'm trying to be positive about it and trust Franklin's plan. Well, you hadn't earned it at Tech yet. I still want to know why he got fired. And I'm still bitter about not knowing. And this isn't about some overbearing fan base. But, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand. And you have a right to be positive. Like I said, it's okay to be objective. You don't have to feel bad about it. You don't have to be negative about everything. I get it. And how you feel about it is how you feel about it. It's great. But it has been underwhelming. It's okay to say that. Especially, as Andy pointed out, with the money that they have. And that's been the return so far. Is that a red flag? I don't know. And as Tebow said, these coaches might all end up hitting the mark. That's why you do it. We always talk about how hard it is to hire a football coach, a head football coach. It's pretty hard to hire assistants too. The right kind of assistants. BDST bowling team, Balboa Creed's crew, yeah. Breaks my heart though, man. To see him limping. He's got the limp now. It means it's getting pretty sore. It just drives you crazy. I hate that. You just want to be able to take away all of it right now. Yeah. But anyway. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, no games have been played. We haven't seen what the portal's going to look like. There's a lot to be positive about if you're a Tech fan. And I want Tech fans to be positive because you've been so loyal. So loyal for a long, long, long time. And you've got nothing out of the return in the last 7-8 years. Right? Yeah. That's true, Prometheus. This is it for him, for James Franklin. There's no doubt. If he doesn't win here, he won't be a power coach ever again. So he's got that motivation, if you will, to go with. Because everybody, it's weird. You know what's strange too? And that's a good question. Questions kind of present themselves. I've heard more Tech fans tell me they expect him to be gone in 3 years. And I don't know, is that the way you guys feel, guys and gals that are Tech? I mean, in chat, do you think 3 years and he's going to just use Tech as a bump if he does bring him back and then leave? I haven't really thought of it like that, but I do get surprised at how many people seem to think he's going to turn it around, rebuild his reputation, and then leave. I don't know why people seem to think that. I'm not saying it's everybody, but I get a lot of that. I don't know. I don't know whether that's true or not. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's going to be like just a short? What I mean by short is a 3-year tenure? I don't know. What do you think? In 3 years, we can have Price head coach. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, you can always count on Wayne. That was funny. Oh, yeah, he'll have a long leash, and he knows it, too. He's going to have absolute power. And you know what happens when people get absolute power? We'll see. I remember Mr. Lineberry at Leisure Lanes, his rough smoker's voice saying, 2 games, 2 shoes, $14.50. Oh, that's awesome. And bowling alley pizza. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't remember that vividly. I just remember going up there. My nights, my mom had bowling, and my brother and I'd be on a lane by ourselves. I never got bowling down. I love it, but all I can do is bowl the straight ball. When I try to do the spin, it ends up doing all this funky corkscrew stuff and hits maybe 2 pins. It's just terrible. I know it's all on the wrist. Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking, Chris, Christopher Lester. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't know why it just seems to be on people's minds that he's not going to be at Tech, that he doesn't have long-term plans here. But I get that a lot. I don't know whether you do or not, but I do. I hear about it all the time from people who hit me up on the text line, people down at Radford who are season ticket holders, football for Tech. I don't know. Wayne says I need bumpers. Bumper bowling? Yeah, when the kids are out there, you need those. I love it, man. But you see, I grew up watching it. David Till and I have talked about it. I grew up watching it on ABC back in the day. They made it into an event. Chris Schenck was so good at broadcasting bowling. And I always thought it was just so cool. Yeah. Bowling was a thing. Saturdays beyond football season, you'd watch bowling and wrestling. Right? Dwight Vick joining us on the program, the quintessential source for all things Tech football. Good morning, brother. How are you?
Good morning, man. Good morning. I'm great. It was Thursday morning. Yeah. So much news, so much to talk about. We'll get elsewhere in a little bit with what's happening at Michigan and other places. But your thoughts so far, I guess, depending on if you're a glass half full, glass half empty type of person, these coaching staff hires that James Franklin has announced are underwhelming. Your thoughts? I think the one that makes everyone kind of, all the Tech fans and even some observers kind of tilt their head a little bit is the tight end coach, now offensive coordinator, because we've seen that before. But people always point to Bowen, but let me remind you, my good friend and mentor and father figure, Coach Brian Steinspring, was also tight ends coach, then became O-line coach for Frank Beamer, then became the OC with those great ACC teams and some Big East teams. So it can be done. Now, I know, some people feel like Steinspring wasn't an elite OC, and that's fine. But he did help lead that team to some conference championships and some big wins. And I didn't have a problem with Bowen at times. I think it was my issue was when Bowen, when Pry was the head guy. Bowen, I thought was a solid OC. I think at times it was more so about personnel groupings or play calling when the game got close, or like as far as red zone efficiency. Because you think about it, man, you had a healthy Drones when Bowen was the guy, and Tootin, who was one of the best backs in the country. You had a receiving core that was really good, but that following year when everybody came back is when everything kind of went left. It wasn't consistent. It was just, he wasn't a quarterback coach. So right now, when you look at what Franklin's doing, I feel like it's a situation in which he's getting guys he can trust, as well as that when it comes to implementing his system and what he wants, that can be an extension of him. I think people forget Franklin is not a defensive guy. He's an offensive guy. And we got to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I think the previous guys I named haven't done it at the head coaching position before, like Franklin has. He has a proven track record as far as, winning games and, calling plays, or at least putting guys in position to be successful. So it's interesting hire. I remember reading that they were going to go possibly with the ECU guy. ECU's always been good offensively, but I'm going to go ahead and sit back and just watch. I'm not going to make any proclamation or statements. It is what it is right now.
What were your first thoughts when you heard about Brent Pry coming back? I think it's never happened before that you went back to the same institution, the same calendar year you were fired, and you had to duck all the fire from Tech fans, and now you're going back to work for your mentor. It's a strange circumstance. It doesn't mean it can't work. It's just a very unusual and unique circumstance that this is happening next year.
Yeah, I've been hearing you have that guy that comes on every week. He called it first, right?
Yeah, Damien did about a month ago. Yeah,
I heard it from him and I saw it on Twitter. I've been people like, hey, what about actually the day of the presser when Franklin did all the interviews? It was a rumor out then that Pry was coming back. I wasn't negatively against it, but I just thought it would be awkward. But I've now had some time to process it. His defenses at Tech, Pry weren't the best, but no. I think that was a combination of personnel. I think that was Marv and him not really working kinks out. Marv being a first-time guy. How much of that was Marv? How much was that of Brent Pry having a feel for the game and the groups he had out there? There was moments when the defense was good, but overall it was a mixed bag. But I think there's a lot of pluses with Pry coming back. I mean, he can recruit very, very well. He was a great recruiter at Tech. He was a even better recruiter at Penn State. He doesn't have the pressure of doing all these interviews and flashing the sports coat and media day and, making all these promises and talking to the media. He can focus on defense, and he has done that. And I think, just based off looking at it from afar and knowing what I know, I think it's a situation where you saw Franklin get emotional at the presser, and I feel like those guys have a special bond, and I feel like, he's looking at the model. I got to go with my guys. I got to go with my guys and people I trust. I don't think it's the situation I'm going with my friends. He's going with his guys. It is a unique story. It's definitely your unique situation. Sometimes I feel okay when everyone doesn't agree versus when there's a unanimous, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, right. Objective. Yeah. Be objective, right? Exactly.
So there's mixed feelings about this hire. I gotta say this. I was rooting for Pry as the head coach. I was 19 years old, 18 years old.
Yeah.
When he was a grad assistant. And I watched his career from afar. And when he got hired, I really thought he was going to be able to emulate a similar situation what Beamer and Foster did. It didn't work out. There was some failure. I feel like he's coming back humbled, and you got to give him respect to show his face again in Blacksburg. I remember seeing him staring off. The camera flashed to his face when Virginia Tech was getting boat raced by Vanderbilt, and it was a very sad sight. He looked like he was completely overwhelmed and lost. And at that moment, it was already a done deal. ODU was even worse, right? So it was one of those things where it was like, wow, like this guy's gone. Now you get to retain a lot of that probably maybe explored the portal. Those guys on defense that was showing all the promise, Sheldon Williams, the safety, Peanut, the linebacker, Lauren Johnson's son from Highland Springs that played this year, Caleb Spencer, now a talented linebacker who transferred to Tech from Miami, and other litany of guys will probably stay now. Along with the guys you're going to get in the portal and the recruits you have coming in, talent won't be an issue. And you have the budget now to get some guys that can make you look like an even better coach. But I got to give Pride credit to come back a few months after you got fired is you know, it's not Return to the Jedi, but it's definitely a good situation.
I didn't get to work in a movie reference. I knew you'd work in a movie reference.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it'll be cool. It'll be good. I mean, it'll be good if listen, it'll be good if everybody sticks to the script and humbles themselves and puts their ego aside and do their job. Because now you're setting it up. It's not so much pressure, but when you have all this familiarity and you have all these guys that know what they're doing and we're together, you know, so to speak, getting the band back together, you should be able to win a wide open ACC versus what you would face at the Big Ten.
Your thoughts on, well, the ACC championship game, Miami making the playoff. They did get a representative, even though Virginia didn't finish off what was a terrific bounce-back season. What were some of the things that went through your mind as you're watching that game?
Hey, I got to give Duke credit, Manny Diaz and Duke credit. I really thought Duke was just going to come out there, maybe play hard for a quarter, because they were saying it out loud that they had a chance to get in the playoff. And Manny made those guys believe it, and they played that way because UVA, for all accounts, they had played a few weeks before, and I watched that game as well, and UVA destroyed Duke at Duke. I mean, up and down the field, probably their best offensive game minus the Florida State game. I mean, UVA was phenomenal, and they came back to get have a chance to get that 11th win, which they still do with the bowl game, but they had never won 11 games. And to have so much at stake, it's only their second 10-win season in school history currently, which is amazing. But Duke came out and played a phenomenal game. Their quarterback played well. Their offensive line protected their quarterback. Their running backs ran hard. It was a great game from a neutral fan perspective. I mean, you know, I didn't care who won. I know there were a lot of Tech fans that were rooting for Duke, especially JMU fans. But, you know, that play at the end was horrible. They panicked. They're at the 40. You have to just tie the game. You've been driving up and down the field on Duke the entire second half and third and fourth quarter.
I know.
They panic. And here's the thing about UVA. They're losing up to 36 players. They built their team in the portal. Not so much now. Currently, they're near the bottom of the ACC in recruiting based on rankings. I don't care about the stars. I'm just saying based on the rankings, they're at the bottom. It's going to be difficult to emulate that. I think Tony Elliott proved he can win, and he's a good coach. He's got a good staff. I just, you know, it's tough when you have that right there in front of you to make the playoff, to be at the college football playoff, and to just wet the bed like that is going to stick with you a long time.
Yeah.
It's not as egregious as when UVA's basketball team lost to the 16 seed. It's not like that.
Right.
But to be that close, I know if Tech was that close, and Tech has had their fair share of heartbreak. I've been part of all of it. it sticks with you. I mean, how many times do we still talk about Danny Cole catching the ball, or the fact that we gave away one against Kansas, or the Boise State game on Labor Day? We led after a great comeback, and then Kellen Moore drove them down and won that game, and we were just heartbroken. We can go over a litany of games where they're heartbroken. But when it comes to a conference championship game, you got to close the deal if you're UVA. And Manny got those guys at Duke to play well. It's almost a passive-aggressive slap in the face to his former employee in Miami, because they make the ACC championship game and win it, and Miami is yet to do so. Now, the caveat or the plus for Miami is they could just stick their tongue out and say, we get to go to the ACC playoffs.
I know, everybody.
We get to go to the playoffs. We get to go to the playoffs. And you know what? I said to you, we talk outside of this show, I said Miami should go.
They
beat Notre Dame head-to-head. And they team in the ACC by far, not just talent like Miami always has, but they're playing the best ball, which gives me hope. Side note with Virginia Tech, because they played Miami very well, which I knew they would be. But Miami is where they should be in the playoff. And I will say the only issue I had with the committee and who they chose is Alabama. That is typical SEC bias and ESPN and Disney campaigning for their guy, because Alabama's TV ratings are through the roof.
Correct.
That's what they did. It was about TV money. I don't have a problem with JMU getting in. Tulane, JMU, I'm happy for JMU, because at least somebody from Virginia will be in the mix. It couldn't be both UVA and JMU, but great for JMU. I said on your show, they're the best program in Virginia, but they will only hold that title for a little bit if Franklin and his guys get us right. And the good thing is we get VMI, JMU, and ODU this coming fall. So we get to erase all this talk. But from a playoff sense, man, it'll be interesting, these matchups. Everyone's saying, Oregon should boat race JMU, and Tulane is basically happy to be there. And that's fine if you feel that way. Stranger things have happened in postseason play in college sports, but Indiana's the story for me. They've been a story, and they're a great program right now. Fun to watch, hard-nosed, tough. They can win any kind of game. But going back to the ACC championship game, it helped UVA. That so-called force out
that was a dumb weird call, man.
A force out, some of the penalties. Something's going on here, Frankie.
And didn't even review it. Didn't even go back. It's like he got pushed out. No, he didn't.
I'm telling you, man, you and I talked about it. I listened to your show even when I'm not on. College and pro sports right now, there's more. I don't know if it's the Prize Picks, FanDuel generation, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now, man.
I know.
A lot of guys, a lot of pros and college players keep getting caught scheming and scamming and being part of this stuff, man. The mafia, everything is Goodfellas Part 2.
I know. It's here, and we just ignore it. We being fans, right? Being fans, we just eat it up. We watch it and eat it up. And how long's it been going on? Well, a lot of people say it's been going a long, long, long time.
It has. It's just that with more social media access, Twitter and Instagram and all the shows on YouTube, there are more people they're more intelligent people than you think, and we see it. We're not stupid. The Denver Raiders game, that kid in that college game that's got to score a touchdown runs right out of bounds.
Runs out of bounds.
I mean, come on, man. It's just too much. I mean,
you're right. And he had a touchdown. He was going to score a touchdown, and he decides to run out of bounds.
Yeah, that's why I switched my parlays, man. They're not messing with the WNBA right now.
And then, as the evening went on last night, DV, and then today, watching about Sharon Moore in Michigan, I am just blown away. This thing's not going away. If it's as bad as everybody's reporting, some of the things that happened in the aftermath, Michigan covered this up for months, a couple months anyway. He was at the heart of the whole Harbaugh situation, and now here he is. What in the world is going on? It's unbelievable.
What did I tell you a few years ago when you had your great radio show, and then I said it this year, and I say it every year multiple times, and I said, we are losing our way. We are with all the money, with all the stuff going on. I'm not trying to get on my moral soapbox. What I'm saying is that we're losing our way, because I'm not going to judge that man, even though he's married with 3 kids, has a beautiful wife. He's not the first man or woman to step outside of a relationship. It's more so about even me as a therapist right now. I take an ethical code. I'm a licensed therapist. So when I help people, I have to model what victory life means, even in my daily interactions and what I do, because I'm a member of the community, a prominent member of the community. So that's on Twitter. I really want to curse him out and find out where he lives and knock him out. Exactly. But I can't, right? So this is a combination of the decisions impacting not only you, but everyone else, man. Michigan has been surrounded by some dirt now for a handful of years with the situation with the cheating and the recording signs and all that other stuff. Yep. Harbaugh had it in his contract that when he stepped away and that this guy would be the head coach, you were getting paid $13 million. I mean, and then, I hate, being a therapist, I hate the fact that, allegedly he tried to harm himself or was going to harm himself.
And the girl, apparently.
And the girl, like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, I just feel like you really lose your way. I mean, Michigan had a good season this year, too. I mean, this is a job, there's certain jobs in college sports and pro sports that I won't say everybody wants, but it's a great situation beyond what you can think of as far as cachet, money, credibility, and popularity. And Michigan head coaching football and basketball is one of those jobs. I really feel like he was selfish. I really feel like he got caught up in the hype. I don't know. And a lot of times we say, oh, this is a first time occurrence. No, usually we're creatures of habit. And this is something where he just got caught. Yeah. And it probably wasn't the first time. I feel bad. The person I feel bad for is his wife and children. Because forever, even if they can reconcile, I hope Michigan and he, and even the I don't know her name, the mistress, side piece. I hope everybody can kind of overcome this. But you look at the way the world is with social media, the memes, the pictures, the trolls. I mean, it's tough. It's very difficult to overcome stuff like this, because your legacy is one of the things you can. Rick Watson, David Teal, Andy Bitter, Dwight Vick, Tech Sideline, Chris Coleman. Our legacy is what we control. Our image, our brand, how we treat people, how we represent ourselves when nobody's looking. And when you do that, now all the guys you were talking to about accountability in that locker room, all the administrators that you led, all the people from the cleaning crew, the janitorial staff, the medical staff, look at you like, come on, man. Come on, man. Like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's disappointing. The more I read it, the more I got, for me anyway, I was like, damn, this is sad.
I know. I
mean, yeah, it's just terrible. But I will say this for me. I will read up on it, and I will look at Twitter. I'll follow along. I won't judge. Because life is already on him right now. When you're in the police station, you got a mugshot, and your wife is probably packing some boxes. Well, actually, she's probably packing your boxes.
Correct.
And you're unemployed.
Reputation destroyed. Yeah.
Some guys never get another chance. Some guys, I mean, not to run everybody Thursday morning, but Fuente has not coached since Tech. Some guys never get another chance. And whether it's their own doing or politics is involved, you got to understand, man, a lot of guys and women try so hard to get a coaching job at that level. And you were making life-changing money. Yes. I mean,
maybe that's part of it. I mean, everybody talks about wealth, and sure, we'd all like to have it, but how many times you deal with this, Dwight? You're a professional, right? How many times you see it happen to people with money, with lifetime wealth already obtained, and they can't handle it? You see those kind of people in jail, hurting themselves, just desperate, miserable people, right? And it's interesting the way that has a lot of correlation. I don't,
the closest I've been to it is vicariously through my friends that went on and teammates to play professional football or basketball, or, you know, people I deal with who are high school coaches, even on a lower level, local level, that can go into different places and be recognized. Even for myself, I mean, my kids tease me how, like, we can't go anywhere without people coming up to you, right? But that's a lower level. I think the higher you get, like that whole Spider-Man reference, you know, with all this stuff comes great response type deal. I think people lose that. They lose themselves in that. You see it with Kanye. You see it with a lot of people, you know, where they lose themselves in fame. I don't have a problem saying this, man. The closest I've gotten to it is, you know, everyone knows who my cousin is. I'm very close to Mike Vick. Mike Vick, you know, oh yeah, shout out to him. College Football Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
Mike,
yes, sir.
Mike, when he was at the pinnacle, he was the highest paid player in the league at one time, more than Brady and Peyton Manning. He was the face of the league. You've seen the 30 for 30s. You've seen the documentaries. He was leading the Falcons to the playoffs, went to an NFC championship in 2004. And then he lost himself and everything. And he said when he hit rock bottom, he had to go there. And now he's doing great things. I know Norfolk State didn't have a great season, but he does take time to take pictures and sign autographs. He does appreciate his wife, Kiafa, who stood by him, his children. He's very proud of that he's in a position to make a difference. And I think that's why I said we lose our way. We it's just like that. I mentioned Fuente, like that. His best friend and assistant coach that was going to be the defensive coordinator was caught out there for having sexcapades with recruits' moms on company time. I mean, dude, what are you doing? You know, I mean, again, I try not to judge because I'm not perfect, but it's just one of those things, man, where I think people really, not everyone, I think they lose their way. And this is why I said to you, my good friend, Rick, you know, the Beamer, Roy Williams, Deanson era will never be emulated. The Jay Wrights, and I'm not talking about just them, even the guys I played for, Mike Smith, who coached 50 years, high school, all the guys that I played for or watched from afar, you have a lot less of them and more of these me first coaches.
Right.
You have guys demanding all these benefits. I need you to pay for my golf cart. I need this. I need this. I need that. And you forget that you are in a position that you need to walk in humility and lead and show that on a daily basis. We're not asking for perfection. We're asking for integrity.
Yeah.
And to remember, you've been given this position by grace, and you need to make sure that you walk in that way. So these young men and young women that follow you understand the importance, not only of work-life balance, but giving back and showing that you can consistently show up the right way. That's my biggest life lesson when I played for Beamer, was like, he always said, treat people, take care of the little things. And I think that's why I try to wake up every day and make a difference. But I think my guy in Michigan, man, he's up for it. It's going to be a long crawl back, man. But hopefully he can learn from it. I mean, it's just, I say this, Rick, I say this respectfully. A lot in this business, whether you're a player, a coach, or a fan, many of us have lost our way. There's a lot of money involved.
Sure.
A lot of manipulation. We're talking about even game integrity with all the stuff going on with the gambling and all the stuff happening right in front of our face. We've really lost our way, man.
We have. It is. It's sad. It is. And this whole thing, if Michigan did indeed cover this up and wanted to get recruits signed, who they're going to lose anyway to the portal because all the money. I mean, and if they wanted to play Ohio State and they knew about this and it almost cost a young lady her life, and I'm not saying she's a saint, obviously. She had a husband too. She was married. But whatever, to her life was being lost, right? And Michigan sat on this. Man, I tell you what, there's going to be a lot more coming out. And you're right. You try not to judge, but it's hard. You know, these are people that have all the money in the world, even these administrators at a place like Michigan, and they've allowed this to happen again. It just blows my mind after the cheating scandal. It blows my mind.
It blows all our minds. Here's the thing. Netflix is going to make so much money because these guys keep giving them documentaries. Like, you got this stuff going on with Diddy. This is you're looking at, again, money blinds your judgment. You just think you're invincible. Look at Urban Meyer, the documentary that Netflix left so much out with Florida. with Hernandez, all the stuff that Urban Meyer turned a blind eye to that was going on at Florida. And then when he went to Ohio State, this is what I mean. These scandals and all this manipulation of money and at-risk behaviors have really taken away from the game that so much of us love. The reason why you have your show, the reason I do what I do and cover it and have these different opportunities, because we love the game and the fact that it's a pure sport. You know, it's not just college football, but basketball. Like, we're losing our way because we have a lot of people being selfish. I came on your show Saturday night, that one time when you had that special show, and I went live and I went off and I pointed at the camera and I said, they're being selfish.
Yes.
And I said,
ego.
Ego. So this is what I mean about losing our way, man. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal regarding trying to get all that you need as far as the greed, whether it's the women or the money. At some point, man, you need to calm down. But unfortunately, it's not going to stop. But again, Michigan, you are now on the clock. And here's another point. And how many times have we seen this, Rick, where and I hate saying this, God knows I do, when a situation like this happens and all of a sudden you get an alert on your phone and you look at it and there's another woman that comes forward.
I know.
You know,
yeah.
The one guy that coached the Celtics, Udoka, he's lucky he's coaching in Houston.
I know.
He fumbled the bag with Nia Long. Nia Long. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got Selma Hayek, Nia Long. I don't know how to do it. Hey, man.
I know. Well, we'll see what happens. There'll be a lot more info today, and we'll see if some of this gets actually confirmed that they're throwing out there. But he's in jail tonight, or last reason. So I've got a feeling where there's smoke, you know, there's going to be some fire with some of this.
He allegedly paid for an abortion, right?
Yeah, and then he went to her house and bound her and had a knife threatening her and said he was going to kill her. This is the accusations, and he was going to then kill himself. And then he went to a church, and that's where they found him.
Oh, man,
I don't know.
rock bottom.
Yeah, you better believe it. I mean, I don't know, man.
Last point, as a therapist, the one thing, and I'm saying this very carefully, he might be mentally unstable right now, but please don't do what a lot of people do. Like when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Oh, my mental health. No, stop using the mental health card.
Correct.
Stop. Right. I hate that because I deal with people who have diagnoses and who are trying to do right. I know mental health, you might have a moment of despair, but don't say don't do that. I hate when people do that. You know, don't do that. You knew exactly what because if you were struggling, at least Urban Meyer was bending over and about to pass out when he was on the sideline. You knew something was going on with his anxiety and panic attacks.
Exactly. Yeah, anyway. That makes me mad too, especially, you know, my son dealt with some things. And when you try to say people who have, and you know, I'm telling you, I'm not telling you, people who have real mental health don't go around and advertising it. It's just part of who they are.
Exactly.
And they can't help, you know, and it's something they don't want in their lives. It's something that's there and they have to fix it the best they can.
Bingo. Yep. Anyway, man, we still got sports, we still got stories, and you know the sad thing, there'll be another story that's going to come out after this one in a couple of days, and another one. It's always, man. Yeah.
And I'll shoot you a text. You just said it. Here you go.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Listen, great stuff. Have a great weekend, man, and we'll see about how the staff looks next week. I'm sure we'll have some updates on some more hirings in Blacksburg. So
absolutely, man. Take care. All right, I'll talk to you.
Stay safe, man. All right, man. Good stuff. Good stuff from Dwight. Yeah. Mental health isn't something people advertise, right? If you really have it, it's an issue, man. It's very serious. I take it very seriously. I'll get into the story about my son who has battled through it and bounced back. When we live through it, it is anyway. Thanks to everybody. Great stuff today. Thanks to all of our guests. Thanks to Andy Bitter, Tim Miller, and Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, and Dwight Vick, who's just always the best conversation. Finally, Friday edition tomorrow. Will Stewart, Jen, and Mike Ashley with the open mic. Everybody stay safe. Enjoy your Thursday. Keep an eye on X for the latest things happening in Michigan. Thanks for your contributions. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Let's get on up to 1,000. Thanks, everybody. You make the show. I really mean that. Hit me up if you want a T-shirt. $20 here locally. DM me, Rick Watson or Big Dog Sports Talk, or hit me up on the Professional Door text line, 391-0788. Thanks, everybody. Take care. We will see you tomorrow, wrapping up the week on the Finally Friday edition.